Hi guys, this is Lachi Planet with Top Tier Tiers, bringing you a No Game No Life set overview. With me, we've got the guy working the camera, Tim Tom. Are we demonetized? I'm not sure I can say that. Anyway,
Yes.
him, and we have Penguin 420 who is
Oh,
here because he really likes lollies, like a lot.
I cannot confirm or deny your accusations.
All right, so basically we covered No Game No Life like way too late. Super late. Like the set's been out forever, long enough for at least one of the people here to have a very firm opinion on what they think is good and what's not. And I mean, that's actually been pretty nice. It means we have someone to fall back on when it comes to whether a card is actually good or not. It's very different to the normal, barely tested evaluations we have. But that being said, it seems that, look, this was never anything published anywhere, but my impression of the set when it came out was that it was nothing particularly special, and it seems that that is, unfortunately, exactly how it was in Japanese. Now, English, however, while I say our set review was very late, you could argue that it's right on time because No Game No Life is about to come to English, and it's a set which is probably something that English hasn't seen before, or rather hasn't seen in a significant capacity. It's a set that can actually be built around standby rather than being a standby deck which has like two good targets and a mediocre combo to go with it. This is a much better standby deck than SAO in my opinion, but as to whether standby decks themselves are good, that's a different question entirely. Anyway, so what do you guys think about No Game No Life in English? Because we know it's not particularly impressive in Japanese.
I think it will be strong. I think
I think its tools are basically on the curve, on the higher end of the curve in English. So, you know,
you guys
uh,
talked about you guys did yellow, but there's a sack yellow counter that basically makes an AOT swing for one.
yes, that card is
Burn.
very good. I mean, it just has, I think, uh, the barrier to being a good deck in English is just a little bit lower enough in English than it is in Japanese that no game can find a place.
Yeah, I think I agree. And the fact that this is a set that can quite viably deny like some decks reverses. There are a fair number of reverse dependent decks in English, and the decks that it can't wall out reverses on, it just kind of walls. So it gets a lot of pluses that way. Um, its top end is not, overwhelmingly powerful, but
It's
I don't think it
serviceable
necessarily needs to
enough
be.
for a deck that is going to win field.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the
Yeah.
most important part to keep in mind. That this deck will, um, the meta in English is based around winning field and doing it in the most efficient way possible. And I think
Yes.
this deck does that.
Standby. I mean, standby something else and then proceeded to just get a winded on the next turn. It feels really bad though.
That's true. I mean,
That is a problem because wind is a lot more prevalent in English than it is in JP, simply because. Oh, well, I don't know if that's true actually, because AOT is big in English, but then Summer Pockets is big in Japanese, and
Persona
most Summer Pockets still run wind.
Persona plays wind in English. Some Fate Apocrypha variants play wind in English. There's a bit of.
I mean, P5 and AOT are like the ones that matter, right? No other decks that matter really play it, but in JP, it's only Summer Pockets pretty much. Everything else is
My
it's
sales
Gates decks.
data suggests that Apocrypha is very popular in English. I genuinely don't. I think if Apocrypha is very popular, actually.
I think a significant number of Apocrypha players are playing a Stolfo combo though, not the Gene combo. So there's that
Depends
as well.
on which ones are fans of Christian Gervais, but yeah.
nice.
Okay, man. So there's that, but that comes with the territory. The upside of being vulnerable to wins is that a lot of decks don't really have any outs to big ass standby targets aside from wins. Like the only things I can really think of that outwall not Konosuba, that can outwall No Game No Life are, well, I guess there's like the Arisa in Bang Dream, but that's a big commitment. I don't think that's a particularly strong deck overall. And I guess Konosuba does beat out the walls, but again, that's only one deck. It's not super popular. You wall out Attack on Titan from like late level 1 all the way to level 3, right?
But you don't. It's actually pretty bad.
Okay, well then. All right, so why are we talking about this deck as if it's good then?
I don't know. I think
Good
it's just
question,
good.
right?
I think.
All
you
right.
guys yeah, I think the finish was pretty good. But you guys think it's only average, so I don't know. Maybe we just have a disagreement.
Well, like when I
think
say average, I actually mean it's like good. My standard for finisher is it's adjusted to format, and the standard for finishers in English is unfortunately Mikasa, which is, well, it's either Mikasa or it's Konosuba Stock Swap, both of which are obscene. So I don't think it's actually fair to No Game No Life to call it like an average finisher. You're right, it is like a pretty decent finisher. The problem is it's stacked up against some really heinous stuff. Was the problem.
Sure.
Yeah. I do think that No Game No Life does have a niche walling a lot of other decks. Like, it walls Konosuba, it walls Card Captors, so that seems to be a pretty popular deck, gets walled out. And actually, what else does it wall? Those are like the main ones, I guess. But Card
Stallful.
Captors is pretty popular. I mean, sure, it walls out a Stelfo, but that's like a niche card in a set that's not super represented anyway. It walls out
Yeah.
Gurren Lagann if you ever play against Clinton Chan specifically.
I highly
Um,
value decks in English with game plans that are very low variance. Like I don't want to say things like random terms and like just throw them out because then I sound like shit. But
yeah,
like
okay, but
AOT
like you
has
say
low
that, but
variance because move gear is 8 copies of every card in your deck, like 4 more copies of every card in your deck. And I think this card deck has low variance because the top X cards of your deck every single turn consistently. There's like a plus to that. I think like I would take this deck because I feel like I feel like a deck that can look at 2 cards every turn can't lose to like a lower like a not as good player in the earlier rounds. Whereas you're playing a lot of high variance decks like
yeah. Like
high variance deck like
this is a good deck. Like this is a deck that you would be happy to take to say nationals, but when you go to somewhere like Worlds where players aren't nearly as bad, like maybe you can say they're bad, but I think they're generally slightly better at least. You often want a more powerful, often variant-centric deck there, like AOT. But I don't even think AOT is high variance, to be honest. You want a powerful deck like Konosuba, let's put it that way.
maybe. I mean, like these tournaments, you just really want to get out of the Swiss rounds, right? Like I really think like when I make top 8, like my leagues, like when you make top 8, like it just honestly boils down to like a certain amount of luck. So like you just want a deck that like
a deck that can get there. Yeah, but there's always going to be a number of people who make it through Swiss on these variance heavy decks, and then sometimes they just get varianced and they lose in top 8. Like there's arguments either way to get either a variance light deck that can easily cruise through less good players, or let you outskill opponents, versus a deck which just does its thing against everybody, and you don't get matchup points for playing against players who are less skilled, but has good matchups around the board. Anyway, like there's an argument both ways. That being said, the fact that you would bring this to a big tournament, I think, is a ringing endorsement. As someone who doesn't really, I haven't played this deck. I don't want to be on any FBI lists. I can say that I wouldn't be ashamed to bring this to a tournament. Ashamed of the deck, not ashamed of the art or whatever. But I don't think it'd be my first or second pick, whatever that's worth.
fair.
It's not a weak deck by any means. I guess we do the thing where we kind of rate cards, right? Like best cards in each color.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird because you weren't here for yellow or green, but I mean, yellow and green, I'm not really sure they were like super good cards in either color anyway. What did I even rate highly in yellow or green? I rated the Ricky well. I rated the bounce level 3.
Also, the top
I rated the
plus mill 2
yeah,
was very good, and the soul counter
yeah,
is also very good.
The mill 2 was good.
The sack
What
counter.
else did
The
I
soul,
give?
minus soul sack
Very
counter.
good.
Soul
Oh, that's
Sack,
right.
Mill 2,
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
Ricky.
Key.
Yeah.
I think those were. But I think minus soul the Mill 3 card is nuts. I think that's like the best card.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
Which card is it?
The one that's mill 2 top check.
Oh yeah, sure. That card is all right. So the best card is the rock paper scissors event, and then the second best card is that one, and then the third best is the counter.
Right.
I think. All right. So green is.
I mean,
harder.
green. The best card is like what did I give?
The early.
Okay,
the
so-
clock
so-
bomb, the early play, and.
God, the clock bomb sucks, dude. I think the
it's better than a lot of these cards.
the best card is that card which just adds a card from top 3, right? It's just like a brainstorm, except you don't have to hit the brainstorm.
That card's pretty cool. I think that card's pretty cool. I just never had a space for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, those 3 cards.
Look, that's fine. Like, if you had a deck which didn't have a brainstorm this good, then that card would be an all-star. But unfortunately, you do have a good brainstorm, so by definition, that card is just... I wouldn't say it's outclassed, because they're actually pretty different roles, and it's especially irritating that you have to tap 2 characters. But that card is so close to being incredible. Second best, I think, is probably the EP. And then the third best is like the clock bomb. I think the clock bomb is like whatever. You guys have a higher opinion of it than me, but I'm biased.
Interact
Bombs
very
suck.
nicely with the best card in the set, which is the runner.
That is not
Yeah.
that is not a ring endorsement of the set. If the best card is a runner. Okay, so the best cards in red. Oh my god, I gave Shiratori a B.
Yeah, you did.
That card's OP. Best card is Steph. Second best card, according to me, is Shiratori. Third best card is the Jibril.
I think
But you guys, go on.
that's pretty. I don't know about Tom, but I think that seems about right. I don't know how good Shiratori actually is, but I can put it in the top 3 type of thing.
Is there another card I liked in red?
The
remember.
card is freaking scary.
Like the
If you
1/1
give-
no 4.
Yue gave the vanilla not vanilla, the 1050 soul Jibril a double D.
I guess it is Shiritori, huh?
Well, I mean, that card's just so high impact. It's potentially insane. Because
trying to
cards
think.
that it's like symmetrical, right? But then you know it's coming and they don't, and that's always OP in every single card game. Powerful effects that are fake symmetrical generally tend to be really good.
I guess I'm fine putting that in top 3 too.
It's just a really good card.
Yeah.
Okay, blue cards. No shortage of good cards here. We've got the
shit.
Runner, Brainstorm, and what else? I don't actually know what
Trigger.
else. Runner, Brainstorm,
Standby Target.
and
That's my target. I think that
Standby
card's really good. It's like a
Fine.
really cool play. I like that card.
yeah, it's probably fine. I'm fine with that one being it. My next highest card is actually the oh wait, no, it's the Restand, but I don't really care either way. they're
Yeah,
both fine cards.
Restand could be it too.
That's a good standby target. I wanted to play a deck that I can standby that out and use the book combo to draw cards. I think that's really cool. But
It's neat, but is it good?
or it's
Discount.
You need-
55, so
You need several cards.
Discount
Like you need
Symbolier.
several cards for that to work. I mean, that seems about right. I think that's a pretty good evaluation of the set. Anyway, I hope the people who are watching this because they want to get No Game No Life in English got something out of it. It's something that a lot of people don't want to admit, but the JP and English metas are very slowly becoming more and more similar. As English players slowly learn how stupid stock swap nonsense is. And as a result, a lot of what we said can be applied to both metas. And I mean, God knows we've stopped caring about being JP only or not caring about English. That's just not something that applies anymore. So if anyone who wants it in English is listening, cool. 我6点左右出。我完全出。
If you like No Game and you want to buy the set, I think it's perfectly fine in English. It's also fine in Japanese, but you know,
Except it got nerfed in English, so here's that.
yeah. nerfed.
Upgraded. Wait,
Yeah.
do you guys know what the foil are? I wonder what the foil arts are like. I might max the set just to like see what the foils look like.
Holy, nice bluff, dude. All right. Well, that was our overview for No Game No Life. No Game No Life. If you guys have any feedback, we'd love to hear it. We're always available, in the comment section of our videos, or on Discord, or any of the various online communities such as Facebook. So we hope you enjoyed our very late but also timely No Game No Life set review, and we'll hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.
Buy your English singles at strictlybronetv.com.
Oh yeah, sorry. Shoutouts. Is that it?
Yeah. No Game No
That's
Life
basically it.
goes up tomorrow. It's up for pre-order already, and it's gonna be up on Friday for the full orders and stuff.
All right. I have to get this uploaded soon.
Cool beans.
Good night,
Cool
guys.
beans, guys. Dope.